Hey there, scholars. Mrs. Bowers here. We're going to do some spiral review. I like to kind of hit the rewind button and refresh our memories on things that we learned at the beginning of the school year. It's called spiral review or spiraling back to old material. I assigned you guys some spiral review homework this evening on order of operations, and I want you to put on your thinking caps and recall all the way back to September and October when we learned the order of operations. You can call it PEMDAS, call it order of operations. It's all the same thing. We are evaluating numerical expressions. Wow, some fancy schmancy words. Basically, we have a step process. You follow some steps in order to solve a complicated numerical expression or math problem. So we start off with looking for parentheses in a problem, and then we solve whatever is inside of those parentheses first. The next step is looking for exponents. Do you see any exponents that we need to solve next? The next step is multiplication and division. Those are the next operations we'll do. And then addition and subtraction. So these are the steps: parentheses, exponents, multiplication or division, addition or subtraction. My scholars, we saw this as PEMDAS. We glued this into our math notebooks at the beginning of the year. Okay, all we do is we go in order, in this particular order, to try and solve numerical expressions. Let's start this work by looking at my first example. I have 12 plus 36 divided by 4. Now, when we think about how we read, we're thinking, well, if I read left to right, shouldn't I just solve the problem left to right? It's not always that simple. Now, in this case, we're actually not going to be adding first. In regards to our order of operations, we're going to go down this checklist and we're going to solve whatever operation we see first. Parentheses. I don't see any parentheses. Exponents. I see no exponents. Multiplication. No, there's no multiplication here. Division, yes, I see division. So that means division is the operation you're going to do first. So I'm first going to divide 36 divided by 4. So since I'm focusing on this part of my work, the 12, I can just bring right on down and get ready for the next step. In order to do 36 divided by 4, I can skip count by 4s. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36. So 36 divided by 4 is 9. So here's our next step. Now I'm looking at 12 plus 9. In my order of operations, after division comes addition. Now I can add 12 plus 19. Well, depending on how you want to think about it, my brain might think a little differently than yours, but you could do 12 plus 10 is 22, take away 1 is 21. Or you could do what I do. I add my ones places first inside of my head. I do 2 plus 9 is 11, carry over the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So 21 is my final answer. My second example, I'm going to go through the same exact process of going through my checklist to work on whatever operation comes first. So first, my P is for parentheses. Do I see any parentheses? You bet I do. That's the work I'm going to do first. What that means is 4 raised to the power of 2 is going to continue on to the next step because I'm not there yet. I can do 8 minus 3 because that's inside the parentheses. So 8 minus 3 is 5. So I did my parentheses. Next on my list is exponents. I do see an exponent. Darlings, think back to the beginning of the school year. This is the base, and the exponent tells us how many times to multiply that base. So 4 to the second power is just like saying 4 times 4, which, my darlings, is 16. Bring down the rest of the problem. So first we did our parentheses, then we did exponents. Next we're checking for multiplication. Here's our next step, 16 times 5. That's our last step. If you like to write it as a standard algorithm, you could do that as well. Sometimes I like to rewrite it because my brain is used to learning it and working it out with a standard algorithm. Okay. 5 times 6 is 30. Drop my 0, carry my 3. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 more is 8. So my final answer is 80. As long as you can remember PEMDAS, you will always be very successful in using the order of operations to solve numerical expressions. PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. All right, guys, have a good night.